Today we are talking about local issues, and a local issue that I think that we should talk about, and I'm so excited to be here to substitute for Irving Steele. My name is Cate Steel. And the local issue is about money, and everybody says, follow the money, follow the money. So here we are, we're going to follow the money and see what's happening and what's going down the road. And my guest today is everyone's favorite, Mike Passero. Mike is our mayor in New London. And I always think of New London as more like New London County, not just the town of New London. And I live in New London County, next neighboring town, East Lyme. So Mike, welcome. Thank you for being a guest on our show today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Mike Passero. So Mike, tell me, you are getting your pockets loaded, not you personally, of course, but the town of New London. Wouldn't it be nice if it was you? Because I know the work that you do, you work tenaciously on behalf of the town of New London, helping people, you know, problem solving every single minute of your day. But here we are, we have some money coming in, some different grants. Community Investment Fund was money that was appropriated to you for purposes that you have intended. So what's going on?
Well, there's a number of grant opportunities that we've applied for and that we've been lucky to compete. Very competitive stuff.
It is very competitive.
Yeah. So there's the Community Investment Fund. There's the Community Challenge Grant. The Community Investment Fund is an initiative that's both the administration and the state legislature. So I know that Speaker Ritter and Majority Leader Martin Looney are very influential in that, along with key members of the administration, and it's very, very competitive. We were successful in I believe, the second round of that, and were able to secure a portion of the funding that we need for the community recreation center that we're building.
Community Recreation Center, now how exciting is that? Because to me it's all about intervention and leadership and starting early and getting kids in the right place and getting them in the right hands of people who care about their future and want to invest in their future. So what's a better place than a youth center?
Right. And it's going to be more than a youth center. It's going to be intergenerational.
Nice. Which is the best case scenario too.
Yeah. It's going to be a very large facility where, you know, it'll have an 8-lane competition pool. So, you know, one of the things that's lacking in the region is pool time for all of our swim teams.
Some of our kids don't know how to swim.
Yeah, well, that's a big issue in New London.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have a pool. So we will have a pool, 8-lane competition pool. It's going to have a large gymnasium.
Nice.
And a lot of multi-purpose rooms, fitness rooms. This will be a soup to nuts, first-class center, you know, for the whole community. So I think it's going to be the heart and soul of the community. We started off the process with a commitment from the local taxpayers of $30 million. Mm-hmm. The price has, you know, the final price we estimate now is about $40 million. Mm-hmm. So we've been busy trying to raise the extra $10 million. And a good portion of that came from our Community Investment Fund grant application, which we were fortunate enough to secure. We also received congressional earmarks, $2 million worth of congressional earmarks from Congressman Courtney, Senator Blumenthal, and Senator Murphy towards this project. There's also the Community Challenge Grant, which DECD administers, and we received a very large grant for that. I think somewhere around $5.5 million. Mm-hmm. And that's going towards various different downtown initiatives. So a good portion of it's going to the Guard, arts, other buildings that are being developed downtown, and also a percentage of it is going for our, if you might have read about our downtown beautification efforts. So we're redoing the sidewalks, we're, you know, paving the streets, new amenities like the big belly trash cans, and just new lighting for the downtown area. So we're sprucing up the downtown.
Well, very nice. So you're making it more attractive, more of a tourist destination, because certainly it is a location that people should visit with the ferries and with historic buildings, the churches, all that you have in downtown New London is perfect for people to come and visit.
Yeah, a lot of what we're doing is to get. Have one of the region's major tourist attractions within a couple of years, when the United States Coast Guard Museum is done.
Oh, that's right. That's coming in too.
So, a lot of what we're doing is geared towards being ready for that when that opens. And that's, we just received a $17 million RAISE grant. It's called the RAISE grant. It's a federal grant from the Federal Department of Transportation. We've been trying, that's very, very competitive. We've been trying to get that grant for 4 years now, with the help of, once again, our congressional delegation in Washington, Murphy, Blumenthal, and Courtney, a pretty dynamic and powerful delegation, were able to help us get that over the finish line. And we just got word on that this week. So it's pretty exciting. $17 million will allow us to expand the parking garage with an extra 400 parking spaces.
The one that's currently, there's a couple of parking garages. I'm thinking of one that's by the Guard, and then I'm thinking of the other one that I know of, then it's down by the ferries, the transportation center. Which one are you referring to?
The municipally owned garage is down on Water Street, across from the train station.
Right. Okay.
And that's where the overpass is going to be built, from that garage over Water Street and over the train tracks, to be able for pedestrian access to the Coast Guard Museum.
Oh, perfect.
And Cross Sound Ferry. So anyway, at any rate, this grant will let us expand the parking garage. It's going to be sort of a surface parking lot between the garage and Water Street. So we're going to build the garage out to Water Street.
Nice.
On the first floor of this garage, right off of Water Street, under the new addition of the garage, is going to be a transit hub for our buses. If you notice, the buses queue up now on Water Street, on the right side of Water Street.
Yeah.
You'll see them there when, during their routes. That's where they pick up and drop off, and that's where they take a lot of people to employment outside the city, like the casinos or the sub-base. So this will be nice because the passengers will be undercover, and it'll be a true transit hub, and that will really enhance what we already have as an intermodal transportation center, with the train station, the buses, the ferries, cabs. Everything you need is right there downtown.
Well, and that's what it is. It's always about transportation, getting where you need to go and getting it so that it's accessible and available to everybody who needs to go there. So connecting the dots, right? It's all about connecting the dots. If we can circle back a little bit, I'd like to talk more about the new community center that you're talking about. Now, I think it's a lot more than just sports, and I know I'm an educator, and so I'm always it's about early training, early intervention. Is there part of that vision placed in there? And I also think it's a lot about leadership, teaching kids how to be leaders and how to mentor the youth and building it forward. Is that part of the vision and plan as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And part of the reason of having a true, multi-generational facility that everybody can use together. But the youth component is certainly very important. We've had a really exciting initiative that we started 2 years ago with some of the city has ARPA money and the school district has ESSER money. And we purchased the BP Learned Mission on Shore Street, and we opened a birth to 8 center there. So we're able to provide pre-K, greatly expand our pre-K opportunities for the children in New London, and provide services for our families from the time that they have an infant up to age 8. And so we're going to be able to coordinate that and the programs there with this really great recreation center, which provides all of the other recreational opportunities. And the same with, we have a senior center, but we'll be able to take and provide programming opportunities for our seniors at this recreation center, which they don't have opportunities for. It's just going to...
We don't have opportunities for our seniors, you're saying, because I've been to your senior center, of course, and the senior center is a little bit small. It seemed a little bit dark to me. So not dark in the sense of emotion, but just lighting and that, like hadn't been upgraded for a while kind of thing. So Is it going to be, you're saying multi-generational, so looking at some of our older seniors and helping them with some of our youth? Is that which part of the vision?
Everybody's going to come together at the rec center.
Nice.
And be able to interact. If you think about it, just take the pool, for instance. Seniors love to get their exercise in
Absolutely.
the pool, whether it's water aerobics or just walking in the low end.
Absolutely.
Any pool I've been to has a strong component for senior programming.
The aerobics, yeah.
So while we don't have that at the senior center, we're going to be providing those opportunities and that programming at the rec center for our seniors.
So you're going to continue the senior center, and this will just augment
the programming opportunities.
I get it.
And we're moving our recreation and our youth services offices right into the rec center.
Beautiful. When do you think you're going to cut the ribbon on this?
Probably early 2025.
Oh, wow. That's much sooner than I anticipated, because and you're saying Fort Trumbull, which is over by the Italian Dramatic Club, and I'm not even sure exactly where that would be if I was to drive around, but it's somewhere.
It's right in the center of town.
Okay.
So it's if you know where the roundabouts are and
Sure,
where
of course.
EB's
Pfizer,
facility
right,
is,
used to be.
and Fort Trumbull State Park is on that Fort Trumbull Peninsula.
Okay.
So it's right dead in the center of the north half of the city and the south half of the city.
Oh, perfect, right. And transportation will be available, and there's bike lanes, and you can ride or walk. A lot of places there aren't even sidewalks, so we want people to find it accessible and get there and use it.
Well, one of the great things about New London is it's very bikeable, it's very walkable. We have a great sidewalk infrastructure, and so the facility will be accessible by any means of transportation. We also started an exciting on-demand bus service.
Really?
Yeah. About a year ago in New London. It's called New London Smart Ride, and it's essentially like any of your on-demand services, your Lyft or your Uber. But it's a pooled system where you go on your phone app and you put in for a ride. The phone tells the bus system where you are, and the bus comes to pick you up, and it's already you've already put in where you're going. So the computers all figure out how to drop people off and pick people up.
So there might be a little bit of a wait, I'm guessing, but at least you're going to get from A to Z or whatever your destination might be.
Yeah, but there's also the fixed route buses that SEAT provides. So we have, I believe, a really robust ability for people to get around in the city by whatever means they choose.
So this New London bus ride that you just talked about, is there a fee associated with that if I want ridership on it?
Yes, it's the same. I couldn't tell you what it is, but it's the same subsidized fee that they charge for the SEAT buses.
So not expensive,
No.
Certainly affordable.
No, you're talking I think less than $2 a ride.
Hey, if you get there, yeah. So the Community Investment Fund was established last year. This is a quote from Governor Ned Lamont. Was established last year to improve the economic vibrancy of historically underserved neighborhoods. So you certainly have him thinking about us in southeastern Connecticut, which I think is really admirable. I think this has been part of the state that maybe doesn't get the attention we need or deserve as far as serving people, doing what's right. Because we know what's right. We know that we need early intervention. We know that we need to have people who have time available, who can do the training and intervention and build programs for people. So I think you're taking great steps to accomplish that. So kudos to you for all of your efforts in that regard.
Yeah, well, we are grateful to the government, to the governor and his administration for their focus on southeastern Connecticut and on New London. Certainly, there's been a great deal of investment in the city of New London by this administration, over the past 4 or 5 years, and you're starting to see it.
Starting to see it,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there's just so much more that we can do, as far as like the healthy food eating and food programs and having more grocery stores and markets available that serve fresh produce and people just getting into gardening, that kind of thing that the Fresh does. Fresh New London is still working tenaciously on that behalf.
Yeah, Fresh is on the forefront of that effort, and it's a great organization pushing those initiatives in New London.
Absolutely.
And we depend on our nonprofit partners to do a lot of the quality of life building in the city.
Now, do you have a full-time grant writer? Do you have somebody who is looking after these grants and then securing them and bringing them in for you?
Absolutely. We have a team that does that. They've been very successful at it.
Well, kudos to them.
Yeah.
And Millie Devine, I took a grant writing class from her a few years ago, and she said the devil is in the details. It's all about dotting every I and crossing every T and making sure that you are applying for what it's going to be appropriated for.
Yeah. Yeah, we have, really blessed with the team that work. It works, it's an arm of the Economic Development Department. Okay. And they've just done an amazing job.
Good, very good. And the Lyman Allen Art Museum, is there going to be something that's going to be considered? I know it's not like downtown so much, it's off over by Conn College, Connecticut College, and the Coast Guard. So how are they going to?
Well, it's always been a challenge to reunite the northern half of the city with the rest of the city since the highway cut us off. We do have a great initiative working with the Southeastern Council of Governments.
Okay.
We're working on a project with traffic engineers to redesign that whole Route 32 corridor, which separates the Lyman Allen, the Academy, and Conn College, and turn that more into a boulevard. The plans are moving along, and the vision is amazing to take this sort of highway type road structure and turn it back into a more inviting neighborhood type boulevard. And I have faith that it's going to work. So that's one initiative. Another initiative is Lyman Allen has an ambitious plan to take their grounds and turn it into an urban park.
That would be beautiful, and display some of their art maybe, and lure people into the museum.
And speaking of the Community Investment Fund, they have a grant. They're competing for the next round. The city is supporting their application for funding from the Community Investment Fund for that project.
Nice.
So that would be great if that comes through.
Great.
And that's all planned. That's all designed and planned already. So yeah, that is a challenge. We're also doing a lot with Hodges Square. The first couple of phases.
That's considered northern too. It's on that other side of the interstate, and it'd be interesting to see the architectural design for how it's going to be more friendly, urban friendly, more parks, more opportunities for people just to kind of walk and stroll, because people go flying down that road on 32, right?
Yeah. So it's a challenge. Hodges Square is a challenge, but we're working on right now an ambitious plan to reopen up Briggs Brook, which runs through there. When I say it's a challenge because you've got the bridges overhead,
right?
And that just really gives you that I don't know, that industrial type of and the noise and everything. But there's a lot you can do, and that's what we're working on improving. It gets complicated too when you're working with state roads and you have to coordinate with Connecticut DOT. They limit the amount of stuff that you can do, but we have some great plans for Hodges Square, and I think there's going to be a real renaissance down there in that neighborhood as well.
Well, that'd be nice. There's some nice restaurants along there, and it's on your way over to the Coast Guard and to Connecticut College and to the Arboretum. So, definitely is a stop that we could put on the map.
Yeah, we have Mr. G's has always drawn the college community from up on the hill down into Hodges Square. That one restaurant there's a few other breakfast places, and it would be nice to make it more of a college town type feel. Speaking of which, that's another great thing that happened to downtown this past year when Conn College joined with one of our developers to take over the Manwaring building.
Well, their housing, some of their housing is in that area, right? Where all the residents don't reside right on the campus per se, but they're kind of integrating, is that the right word, into other areas of the city?
Well, there was a historic renovation done to the Manwaring building, which is on State Street next to near City Hall, and that I believe something like 60 college students took up residence in that historically restored building.
And that was the first time that happened?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the feedback? What did they have to say about
the kids loved it.
Yep.
I mean, the ones that I ran into, great
Nice.
lifestyle. And, the upperclassmen, had been wanting to get off campus for a long time. So
yeah.
I think it helps the college recruiting. It certainly helps the downtown. There's a multiplier effect. If you got 60 students living downtown, they also have plenty of friends. So it increased the... businesses like the Washington Coffee House really saw an uptick in their business because of that. So.
Well, and they're college kids, and they're focused on learning, and they're focused on what they're going to be doing in the next 10 years, 20 years, whatever, for the rest of their life. And they care about what's going on in the town, and so they have a positive influence. I've seen a number of kids who have been volunteering. I shouldn't call them kids, young college students, volunteering at the Guard Arts and other places. So they're definitely making a nice impact, and they care. They care.
Yeah, Conn College has always been a good partner as far as the Holleran Center up at the campus coordinates the students and their volunteer efforts in the community, especially with our school district. They help out there quite a bit.
Okay.
Same thing with the Coast Guard Academy too, by the way. They all all the cadets also have to put in a certain amount of community service hours, and we benefit greatly from that in New London.
Absolutely, yeah. I had a friend who was hosting some international students. One was from Italy, and the other one was from Spain. Spanish, had moved to France, so kind of had both countries under her belt, and took them with me over to the New London Community Meal Center, and what a great opportunity that was for them to see what goes on over there and how we serve so many people on a daily basis. So that's pretty amazing. Tell me about the wind power project, shifting topics a little bit. What's going on with that? That's been quite a...
Yeah, it's bringing a lot of attention to the city.
Yes, it is.
Just got off the phone, as a matter of fact, before this interview with the Wall Street Journal.
Good for you.
They're working on a story about that. Everybody's trying to find where the truth lies, because there's been a lot of negative press too around here locally. The problems with the Connecticut Port Authority and their structure. But yeah, I mean, I sort of look beyond all of that, and I'm just looking at this great new industry that's setting up principally in New London, and New London will be supporting this industry.
Well, you're a problem solver. At the end, you have to kind of wade through what is positive, what's negative, and go towards what you want your goal to be to accomplish it.
So in order for the government to achieve its goal of having this new type of renewable energy source, these offshore wind turbines, which is not a new industry.
No, it's not.
It's been, they have tens of thousands of these or at least thousands of these in Europe.
Of course.
The industry is probably 10 to 15 years old. So, and we're behind here in this country.
No.
The north.
No, that's not true. No.
The waters off the northeast United States are, they're perfect for the wind patterns.
Absolutely.
They're perfect for generating power. So in order to get this done, these turbines have to be assembled somewhere, and they have to be shipped offshore from some point. And we are just so fortunate, as far as I'm concerned, to have New London as a hub for this industry.
Absolutely.
And
what are the environmental concerns? Are we afraid that birds are going to be, I don't know.
That's a bit out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It's happening here in New London. We're busy looking to attract the supply chain to the area, and also to just generate the revenue local revenue that the industry can bring. So we want to make sure we don't miss any opportunities to benefit the taxpayers in New London.
Absolutely.
Because we're hosting this new industry. So it's moving right along. The the cranes, these huge cranes that get the biggest cranes in the world that are going to be used to assemble these turbines have just been set up in the last few days. So
I have to go look.
every day. Well, there's the construction cranes which have been there right along.
Okay.
You know, reconstructing the pier for this, to turn it into this heavy lift facility. But now the cranes that are going to actually be assembling there's two of them that are going to be assembling the turbines have been put together and are erected, and the first components for these wind turbines are supposed to start arriving any day now.
And how soon before we would have some positive environmental impact from some of this work that we're doing?
That's a good question. It's a bit out of my wheelhouse as well.
There you go. Down the road, yeah. The
first project that they're working on out of the New London facility is called it's a South Fork project, I think, the Long Island project. But all of the leaseholds, the lease areas for these turbines, the federal lease areas, are in waters around Martha's Vineyard.
So they're basically local, is kind of that regional effect. So, yeah, that's great. So I wanted to ask you, next term, are you planning to run? You've been our mayor in New London for 2 terms now. And when does your term end?
December, the first Monday in December. 2023, this year.
Oh,
so
boy.
We're counting down right now.
Oh.
And we're in the election cycle right now. I've announced that I'm running for another term.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Goals and aspirations for it?
Well, we have so much development in the pipeline that I really want to see it through.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it going.
Yeah. I'd like to see the ribbon cutting on the Coast Guard Museum, the ribbon cutting on our community rec center. These are things that will all be happening within the next 2 years.
And the Lyman Allen, and then Mitchell College has a lot of new initiatives going on over there.
And I believe we'll have downtown. We'll have the buildings downtown finished within the next 2 or 3 years. We have challenges there. Challenges getting the buildings to be sold and renovated by new owners. But we have plenty of interest in developers that want those buildings. And want to redo them.
How can we help you, Mike? How can we help you? You need volunteers, you need people on the ground, people in their boots helping you. What can we do to help you to get elected, to continue to do the good work that you're doing? How can we help you?
I think the most important thing that New London, and it's happening, is the perception is changing.
Okay.
We've been dogged by these negative perceptions that developed in the 70s.
I've always loved New London. We moved here in '96. I worked in New London for 12 years. Loved New London. Loved the history, the racial diversity, the ethnicity. There's just so much to love about New London.
Yeah, and you really see the new people that are moving in. I think they see it a lot quicker than I think some people that have been in the city and entrenched for years. I think generally the feeling for the people in New London is that we're on the rise and things are happening.
Well, congratulations. Good luck to you. Thank you so much, Mike.